I had this heavy brass owl picked up probably at an auction in a box lot for some time. I don't even remember when I got it, but it used to sit on my my mid-century shadow box mirrored shelf. And when I sold that, I kind of just laid this aside, and I don't remember if I noticed, but it looks like it could have been a finial. It's got a threaded hole in there. So I made measurements of the threads, or how wide the hole was, to include in a listing, because it's too big for a lamp finial, but for something. And it did sell on a best offer of $18. Oh, this is a Kino 8mm videotape rewinder. These are not quite common out there, but they still bring a pretty good price. I was able to test this after digging out a 8mm tape, and made a video of it working, because I noticed somebody had put one up for sale where one of the functions didn't work. The fast forward didn't work, but this one works. And I put a fresh set of batteries in it. They weren't too expensive. They were actually on sale at the grocery store for $2.50 for a 4-pack. So I bought a few of those. Thought that was pretty cheap for batteries. And I go through them. I was able to get $40 for this. And one of the things I noticed when I looked at other people's listings, and I try and do this when I research, is find any thing that might be left out. And nobody put in their listing that this also handles high 8mm tapes. And so just on the chance that somebody might think that they need something special, I put the high 8 in there as well as the 8mm tapes. And it only took a few days to sell. Again, $40. I acquire a lot of tapes, both cassette, 8-track, and reel-to-reel, by buying the stereo equipment. And I go through them every now and then. And this one, I do like Ry Cooder a lot, but I don't, well, I just didn't see myself listening to this Boomer story very often, if again at all. It's a really old style cassette case. It's kind of a slip cover. And I played it through on my tape deck, and it worked just fine. It did take about a month to sell, and I got $12 for it. This is a pair of saddlebags. Through research, I found they call these throw-over saddlebags. I believe they're for a motorcycle, but I suppose you could use them on a horse. Got conchos with little leather tethers on them, good buckles and all that. Pretty good shape, and they didn't take long at all to sell for $80. Well, it's been a while since I've come across one of these heated shaving lather gel units made by Conair. This is a fairly late model one. This is one of the first things I started looking for when I went to eBay full-time about 10 years ago, and was so happy when I found one the first time. And it sold rather quickly, pretty good profit. This one is still new in the box, never used, and it sold within a few days for $65. This is a vintage reel-to-reel recorder, a portable one from the mid-60s, I believe 1965, made by Craig, model 2106. And I picked this up along with several other pieces of equipment at the same time, and it included 2 of these. One working just perfectly, so I just did a basic cleanup of it, and made a recording, made a video of me making a recording, I should say. A couple other things I had to do was I had to find an AC adapter. It will run on batteries, but I figure most people would want an adapter. And the weird thing about this recorder is that it's the end is a negative on the center and positive on the outside, which is not real normal. So I had to cut the end off and reverse the polarity. Not a big job anyway, but these are kind of neat. I also found a empty reel to include with it. And all that added up to a very quick sale. I think it sold the next day for $100. Finally sold another pair of these ladies' Ferragamo shoes. They're satin black with a 2-inch heel. I bought several pair, about 8 pair I believe, if not more, at an auction. Not the kind of auction, I mean, the auctioneers were probably more used to selling or auctioning sheep and cattle, but I got a lot of strange look from the old timers there when I was bidding on these. Got them pretty cheap, all 8 in the lot or however many I bought, and they sold right away. Quite a few of them, maybe just I don't know styles that well, but I thought these were a nice looking pair of shoes, and they finally sold for $45. This is the carafe out of a Ninja coffee maker. I bought the coffee maker at a garage sale for $5. You know, thinking I'd try out a different coffee maker, and little old ladies at garage sales lie sometimes, or maybe they just didn't know. But it didn't work. I tried everything, YouTube research on repairing them, and it just wouldn't heat up. So I decided to sell the parts, and I noticed most people sell the carafe with the locking lid. Well, if you need a carafe, it's usually because you broke it. You don't really need the lid. So I was able to charge just a little bit less than the average price for my carafe, and I'm selling the lid separately, which will give me better profit anyway. And just the carafe by itself sold for $15. This is another part off the Ninja coffee maker that I bought, and it did not work when I got it home. And this is the reservoir. Again, I'm selling it without the lid, thinking that probably just the reservoir was broken and is what is needed as a replacement. And this sold for $18. This is a volume knob off of a Zenith stereo system from my vast parts warehouse. And these little knobs can sell for a lot depending on how rare the item that it came off of is. This is just off of a well, all I have is a model number. It's just a Zenith AM/FM record player, all-in-one system, and this little knob sold for $10. This is a miniature HO scale 1970 Cadillac ambulance made by Praline, and I was able to sell this for $18. This is the manual for a Pioneer Centric stereo. Now, I never owned this stereo. I was looking for information or researching prices and stuff on a different Centrics stereo, and I came across this manual for sale on eBay. And it was less than $5 with free shipping, and I just said, well, I can make money on that. So I bought it. This was probably about 6 months ago, and it sold for $18. This is what's called a FM multiplex. They thought of an old Motorola stereo, a console stereo. And back in the early 60s when FM stereo was just becoming a thing, not all stereos had an ability to separate the signals. And this was sort of a special addition to your stereo. It's tube powered. It's got a couple of original Motorola tubes in it. And I kept all the wiring together. And I looked online, and there's actually circuit descriptions and all sorts of information on it. But I decided just to print off the 2 pages and include that in the listing. And this took about a month to sell, and it went for $90. Another auto repair, or actually truck repair manual, vintage from the library I bought, I believe it was last fall. I got I think about 15 of these. I've sold quite a few so far, and this one sold on Bonanza for $20. This is a vintage black and white Zenith TV I had it listed with the stand for $125, and it had been up for sale for quite some time. It reminded me a lot of a hotel-style TV and stand. And the TV didn't work. It has a good picture too, but there's some electronics in the vertical hold that need to be replaced, and I wasn't going to be able to do that myself. So I put it up for sale as is, and not with that antenna, but I had somebody come and look at it, and they decided they just wanted the TV and not the stand. And so they gave me $85 for just the TV. Oh, and just as a note, I got the TV for free. One of these ads I answered a couple of years ago. One was for cleaning out a old repair place, and another guy just had a shed full of old TVs he was just giving away, and I grabbed what I could. Another Transistor radio earbud, and it appears unused, still in a plastic package, and I've been selling a few of these lately. I don't know what all of a sudden people need these for, but this one sold for $10. This is the hood prop rod from a 74 to 78 Mustang II, and it sold for $65, and I think it got a premium price because it also has the plastic hinge piece. Previously I sold the similar plastic piece that is actually inserted into a hole in the hood, or into the hood, and then this will clip onto it. I decided to sell them separately because people just don't need both at the same time. Again, this hood prop rod sold for $65. This is just an ornate plant stand, metal and wood, that I put up on Facebook Marketplace, and it sold, I believe, the next day for $40. This is a Fender keyboard amp. It's a KXR60. I found this at a small town rummage sale last week. I got it home and found out that the reverb didn't work on it, but it's really clean. I got it for $20, and so I put it up for a fast sale at $100, and it took about a week to sell on Facebook Marketplace. Well, this was an interesting find. My girlfriend and I were at a estate sale a couple weeks ago, and we only bought a couple of real small items. And this amplifier, a Marantz, was not listed in the estate sale ad, and so I imagine that the owners kept the amplifier. But we bought just a couple of small items, but on the way out I noticed this box empty sitting there, and I said, hey, can we have the box? Sure. We just put our tiny items in this big box, and I listed it right away for $50, and it sold. Boy, I had a lot of people interested in it as well. And this one's going just up to northern Minnesota. It's still going to cost like $60 to ship it. Very light, but huge.